It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I want to thank each one of our listeners who have tuned in live today and the ones that will be listening to the recording on the podcast. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And you are all in for another amazing show, as I have with me my returning diva, Sandra Mendelson. And her and I are going to continue our chat on communicating with pets in spirit. And today we're going to share how they help us. Oh my, is this going to be a great show? Sandra, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
I guess what I do is I channel animal consciousness and I communicate with animals. And I've been doing this for about 12 years. Channeling messages from animals really is animal wisdom that is being made available for all humans to help us have an easier journey on this ride called life. And most of you are probably familiar with animal communication, which is a one-on-one, usually initiated to gain clarity, deeper insight into animals, solve problems, gain closure, and things like that. And I'm also an author of 4 books for adults, or let's say big children, as well as small children. Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely love it. That is so awesome, and I love how you share your animal wisdom, and it's just incredible. I mean, Sandra's on Facebook and Instagram, and oh my goodness, we'll share her links later. And her animal wisdom that she channels is it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So, well, Sandra, how would you like to start today as we continue with communicating with pets in spirit, and how they help us? How do you feel they come and help?
Well, the great thing is, for the listeners, both Joyce and I have been experiencing over the past year what it's like when our pets transition, and then what unfolds from that point. So I feel like it's so important that the two of us can share the different things that we've learned. Lots of overlap. But, Hemingway always said, write what you know, and Joyce and I are really experiencing this along with everyone else. So, yeah, sure. What my soul dog, Mr. T, left form last November, and he made it really clear. He kept saying, I can help you so much more. Now that I am no longer limited by a form, I'm in the fullness of my soul, and I am connected to everything. So Joyce and I have been sharing lots of experiences, some very surprising, on how they help us. Joyce, you want to go like one and one? I'll do one, you do one?
That sounds fantastic. I love it.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Super. Well, I'll start with something that people might not think to notice, which is if you have other pets in the house, you may notice a change in their behavior. My boyfriend's cat used to run out from under the bed and smack Mr. T in the face just because, T would be curled up sleeping in a corner. T and I kind of invaded her privacy, and I feel like she's just been tolerating me. Well, she came over the other day and laid on my chest. And when I was in Maui several months ago, the cat that lived there did the same thing, and I knew very clearly at the time he volunteered to bring through the love from Mr. T. Animals in form will volunteer to do that. Well, Sumner did it, and then when I tuned into T, he told me she's learned so much since he left. and she's thanking me in her own way, and yes, she was bringing through his love. So the first thing is there might be improvements in the behavior. And you may just say, oh, well, the other animal isn't around anymore. It's deeper than that. It's that the animals that are still here are learning so very much from those in spirit.
Oh,
how about you,
how
Joyce?
Beautiful. Well, mine is, my little red Gila Groucho, he crossed over in June of 2022. And he told me he could help me better on the other side. And, oh, my word, I'm getting the chills as we talk because how he has helped me so much. And that is one thing. When you feel a sensation in your body, you know what you're feeling is so true, because that's a sign, one of the signs for me that he's right here with me. He's helping me do this show. And something that happened just shortly after he crossed, he had this little ball that he was inside, and I have another dog that was inside too with him all the time. And this ball was clear underneath the couch, and I knew it was there, but I hadn't gotten it out. I walked in there one morning, and the ball was laying in the middle of the living room floor. There was no way my other dog could have done it. And I was like, okay. And I said, Groucho. And he says, yeah, it was time to get that out from under the couch. And I'm like, oh, my word, thank you. And then on that same little ball, I couldn't find it then. About a month or so later, it's like it just disappeared. I'm like, where did it go? Here within the last 2 weeks, I walked into my office where my computer is one morning, and there the ball was in the middle of the floor. And I'm getting the chills now as I tell it, because I said, Groucho? And he says, yeah, I was playing with it for a while, and I decided it was time to bring it back to you. I was like, okay. And I thanked him, and I said, well, thank you for returning the ball, because I just got my new little puppy here just a little bit on the first part of August, and he felt she would need it. So he returned it. Aww. And those are just signs when things appear out of nowhere or things happen that, like that ball, he says he had it, and I believe it because I had no idea where it was. I couldn't find it. I had looked for it before I got my little healer here in the last month, and I thought she'd like to play with that. And I couldn't locate it, and that morning there it was. So, it's the angels. It's them. In my mind, there's no doubt. So those I probably shared too, but it was all along the ball. So I thought, okay, I'm going to share both of these.
Yeah, it's really important. They're trying to get through to us in ways that make sense to us and that we'll pay attention to. So moving tangible objects, playing hide and seek with them, having them disappear and reappear makes so much sense because we have something to hold on to. It's real, it's tangible. There are some less tangible ways that I know that they are helping us as well. When I did a presentation about this, Mr. T was very clear when he said, almost like the gift that we get while we're dealing with the loss of their presence is them helping us to develop our clair abilities and to be the multisensory beings that we really are, perceiving beyond the five senses, right? So the way that I've always perceived or been connecting with the animals is I'll have my eyes closed, I'll see the image of an animal, and then I hear and I write it down. Well, there are other clair abilities too, and what has shown up with Mr. T is I noticed all of a sudden my breathing, like you said, you get the chills, my breathing would get really fast and heavy, like, almost like I was having some kind of oddball reaction to something. But then he said, you got my signal. So he's created his own signal to move me into, what do you call that? It's not clear, maybe clairsentience, clear feeling, right? Instead of just clear hearing or clear seeing. We have the ability to branch out. And I I always tell this to people, if you think, oh, okay, I'm really into birds and I'm just going to sit here and send them love and then I'm going to hear them, like Dr. Doolittle, more than likely that won't happen. But we have to be a gentle opening for our own gifts to show themselves. So that animals are really helping us with this, especially when they leave form.
Yes. Oh, how beautiful. Yes. Well, that brings to mind for me when I knew I wanted another little red Gila puppy. And I had asked Groucho, I said, how will I know when it's the right one? And he said, you will know. I'll let you know. And I had looked and I had kind of seen some, and none of them resonated with me. They didn't do anything. And then it was the 1st of August, and there was a post, and there were some puppies on there. And the one caught my eye, and then the other one that he had on there was a little red female, but he didn't have her face. And I messaged him and said, please send me a picture of her face. I mean, when I got that picture of her face, I broke out in tears. I got chills all over. And I said, this is the one. And Groucho goes, yeah, this is the one for you. This is your puppy. And it was just amazing. There was no denying it. I hadn't felt that way about any others that I had seen, and people had tried to give me some dogs and different things because I had lost, my other 2 had crossed in June of this year, so I was without any for a little over a month, and that's not good for this girl. And so when I saw Minka's facial picture, it was it. There was no denying it. She was the one I had to have, and I knew that, and Groucho backed it up because he gave me those feelings inside of me, and there was no denying. She was the one. So yes, listen to your body. Your body gives you the signs from them, letting you know. Like when I cried and was just filled with chills on a 100-degree day, I'm like, how can this be? But I knew then she was the one I needed, and yeah, she is. So when you were talking about,
happy that you mentioned that, because the hardest part is the waiting. Even when you feel in your gut that they're coming back, because it was not finished. It wasn't just your wishful thinking. You just feel like we didn't, like Mr. T said, my body gave out before I was able to complete, my mission and what I'm here for. So, you're showing us, like Mr. T said, you will know, I promise you, I will give you signs. And, the months go by, and it's so easy to give into doubt. But what you just said is confirmation of what the animals want us to know. The signs will be received by you, and your body will let you know, now it's time. That's the one. You will cry. You will just go, you'll just have that knowing. And it's a big leap for us to make, really to just say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to trust. Mr. T told me, it's long story, but it's taking a little long for the right body to show up. So all I can say is I'm learning patience. But another thing that you might not think your pet in spirit is helping you with is, because Mr. T has made this clear, that even though they do it when they're in form, when they're out of form, they're more able than ever to nudge us, to make suggestions to our subconscious mind, to draw our attention to what helps us and heals us. So he said, I know there was chaos in your life and I wasn't living here. He said, but now you are home and I am helping you absorb the peace that is there for you. Like they nudge you, and you, as he said, when they nudge your subconscious mind, you experience it as your own thought, your own idea. But you absolutely have to believe they're nudging you in this subtle, behind-the-scenes way so that you pay attention to things you would not have before. The other thing is helping with, crazy but true, helping with your relationship by that nudging the subconscious. If you and a partner are kind of stuck and you're kind of going at stuff. It isn't just magic if both of you have this, you know what, I'm just going to drop it and I'm going to let it go. You're getting that nudging, that help, because your dogs know that love is the most important thing. Your animals do. So another way that they help you through this nudging is helping you get over hurdles and blocks to your own happiness.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, how true that is. Because they're always right there. I mean, when Groucho crossed, he knew how hard it was for me to be without his little earthly body. And that's why when Minka came into my life, I even asked him, I said, is this okay? And he says, you need a body to hug here on earth. And he said, just think of it this way. When you hug her, you're hugging me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's been so true, because he knew I'd gone long enough, and that with my other two gone, when he left, there were still two others here. And then when they crossed in June of this year, it was like, okay, now it's time. She's gone long enough, and a little over a month was all it was, and I found Minka. So they are taking care of you in so many ways. And when he said that about when you hug her, you're hugging me, and I'm like, oh my word, I love it.
Oh, so yeah, beautiful.
Just listen and have the patience and listen to what's being told to you through them in your subconscious mind, in your intuition, however you want to explain it. Just know that they're there for you.
And interestingly enough, the way that they are there for you is what you as a human being need. For example, you know, Joyce, you were without your non-human partners for a month. I have been, it'll be 10 months very soon. But as T has shown me, told me very clearly, I struggle with doubt. And so in order to get over the doubt, he made a point of not always being here all the time, so that I could feel like I got in the car and I went, oh my goodness, he's there. So that I could have faith and trust that, in what his presence feels like, because he said doubt was one of, doesn't matter how many thousands of messages I've channeled, I still struggle with doubt when it comes to him, because of this intense love, you know, your own wishful thinking. It's ego, you know, you don't want to be codependent. All this stuff comes up that doesn't come up with other animals, at least for me. So for people that do find themselves waiting quite a while until they get those signs that their pet partner is ready to assume another form, the waiting time is to allow you to work on things, whether it's your own joy, your own self-confidence, your own self-love, you know, faith in yourself. That's what your animal is helping you with. It's crazy. I mean, you just really need the wide-angle lens and go, let go. There's a reason why I'm waiting.
Yeah, I know. And I think for me, your heart has to heal some, because, your heart's broken when you lose that earthly form from him. I mean, Groucho came to me within 5 minutes from when he had crossed to let me know he was right there. Now, I know that doesn't happen to everyone, and I'm just sharing my experiences. Each one experiences it different. And it was just, I think you need time for yourself and to let go of that doubt, like you said, because I knew I heard him right away. But he wanted to make sure that everything was in place before little Minka came into my life, and the other two dogs too. So, and another instance that comes to my mind of them showing us things is looking at the clouds. There's been so many times when I thought, now am I really hearing him? Is this really right? And I'll look up and there'll be a heart in the clouds. And I'm like, yep, that's my that's my affirmation that, yes, this is what he is telling me. Because him and I were always connected heart to heart. And he says that too. So he will show clouds, hearts in the clouds. And they may only be there for a brief second, but you see them. And it's just beautiful. So it's just, you have to really be aware of everything around you. Or a red bird sometimes will be the other sign. Or feathers. Feathers is huge with him and I. So
you do need to spend some time alone so that you're not always in response to people and what's going on around you, because this is the world that is subtle and it's magical, but it does require a change in orientation, especially if you have a very busy life, with a lot of demands on you, whether it's children, partners, jobs, neighbors, friends, whatever, relatives. So all of this stuff does come out. And the other thing, I feel like, I hear it from T, but I believe this is probably true for other people. Learning through the separation, whether you were interdependent or codependent, I don't like labels, but did you find yourself, and I did it, and that's why I know, I used to say he softens the world for me, because wherever we went, people would just gather. And then I'd be in conversations with beautiful souls. So I felt like he was the door opener. And what he has said is, you need to discover your own business. And it's not like I'm totally unaware of it, but I admit it, I was a little bit in awe of him. So for people out there who, want to be more like their animal partners and see all the incredible qualities they have, you got to use the separation time, I believe, to remember that those qualities are in you too. And you need to realize, right, you come together because it's joyous and it's wonderful and it expands both of your experiences. It's not out of need. It's not because you're weak, and it isn't because your heart is broken by what's going on in the world. I mean, these are things that come up, and then you just want to run to your pets, right? Close the door and run to your pets because they understand you. They know who you are. They never lie. Blah, 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 blah. So just it's a beautiful awareness, I think, that happens when they're in spirit form. They're nudging you towards awareness as well.
Yes. And adding on to that, I feel they are there. They're helping you to let your light shine, because they saw that inner light inside of you. Because I always said Groucho was my soulmate. He knew me better than anybody else, and he did. And he has helped me to let that light shine, and that's what he wanted. And he knew being in body form, he could only do so much. Was when he crossed, he knew that it was unlimited in how he could help to let that light shine, is how I feel, because his crossing was very interesting. Sometime we'll share that too, but I mean, it was just, you knew it was supposed to be, because he had it planned, and it was just how it was. So he knew to let my light shine. He needed to cross. And I feel these animals, each one of us is given that unique light, unique gift to let it shine. And the animals are helping us to do that. So another one I wanted to quickly add to was something that I thought was so beautiful is right after my other two crossed in June of this year, I was down one day. Hadn't even been about a week, and I just went for a walk. I'm like, I got to just escape out into nature, because that's my way. And I found this feather kind of underneath in the dirt. It was kind of a big brown feather. And I picked it up, and I heard him say, "There is beauty under the hurt and pain." And I'm like, oh, my God, how true that is. How true. And it was just beautiful. It just raised me up. I'm like, okay, yes, there is beauty underneath this hurt and pain. And so that was another one I kind of wanted to add to it, because, we are in hurt and pain when their bodily form goes away, but there is still so much beauty, and they're doing so much on the other side for you. If you have to open your heart and let them in that way.
Yeah, and it isn't to say like that the mourning over their absence will go away or that there's anything wrong with it. You know, it's to be expected. You know, but as Mr. T said, you are being challenged to experience me not as a form, but as energy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we tend to remember what they looked like and what they felt like and what they smelled like. And it is an adjustment to focus on feeling them. I mean, as T says, and I asked him, you know, what's it like where you are? And he said, you know, everything is sensing and knowing. There's no more form, so they recognize each other, right? So a human and an animal, for example, in it, they recognize each other as energy. So, you know, the more that we become accustomed to seeing ourselves as energy beings, as he says, the faster you move when you are no longer out of form. And again, it's not a comparison. There's nothing you have to, you know, strive for. There's no goals, each at his or her own pace. But it was very interesting, you know. So on every level, this experience of getting them as energy and tuning into these subtle things actually is good prep for what comes next, you know. It's all got a purpose. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but you know, it's I feel it too. You know, for anybody that's going through this now, it wells up right out of nowhere, and I hear from him quite often, and I get it, and I know it's real, and it's so beautiful, and I'm so grateful. And then every now and then, you know, even 10 months after he left, it's just this. It's an ache, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right.
Well,
because
Groucho's been gone over a year, and I mean, I've always said if tears could have brought him back, they'd have brought him back in the first 24 hours in bodily form. So, yeah, the tears still flow because I know he's there, and I still miss the little body. So, yeah, I totally get it. And as an energy, that's what's so beautiful. And Sandra, you and I could go on for hours sharing.
sharing it's probably
what
time
we have
to say goodnight.
And this has gone so quickly. I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe the show is to an end already. But I wanted to ask you to please share with our listeners the best ways to connect with you before we close this show today.
Oh, well, my website, smendelson, MENDELSON, has a ton of information. I'm reachable that way. It talks about animal communication and how I can be reached and all that stuff. And then if anybody, and the kids' books are also, the Secrets of the Animals, those are on my website. But then I also made another website just for people that want to know more about the We Walk Beside You books and how they differ from each other. So WeWalkBesideYou.com. Oh, wait, and also on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, you know, and Instagram. But, you know, I just try to keep sharing the messages as often as I can. So Sandra.L.Mendelson or We Walk Beside You. Those are the two Facebook pages. They really do have the same stuff. If you just want to, you know, immerse yourself in some animal wisdom that's really designed for us, for us human animals.
Oh, and like I said earlier in the show, the animal wisdom on there is it's just beautiful. I recommend all our listeners to go to her website, to her Facebook or Instagram pages. You will just be in awe. It is just beautiful. And Sandra, I feel we need to continue this communicating with pets in spirit. So will you please be back on my show again in October as we can share more about this topic?
I'd love to, because you and I keep on discovering more and more, so we just have to. You know, when you're walking the path and more things keep unfolding, yes, I would love to. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I want to wish you a very magical day, Sandra, and a magical weekend ahead.
You as well. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you. You are so welcome. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this incredible show with our amazing diva, Sandra Mendelson. Please share the show with your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And remember, there is no correct way. Each one communicates in their own way with their pets in spirit. But just be aware. Be aware of the signs of your body. Be aware of what's around you, as what Sandra and I have shared with each one of you. And they are there to help you let your individual light shine. And oh, will it shine bright. So with that, each one of you have a magical day. Remember, be kind to all. Give your animals a great big hug and share all your love with them as they so deserve it. And until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.